The day after. The ashes are still smoldering, and the mainstream media is doing their usual dance. Yesterday, if you don't know, the famed Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris, France caught fire late in the day and burned for 12 hours. The iconic spire and the roof of the sanctuary collapsed in on itself. The 800-year-old man-made marvel has been maimed, and Paris mourns for their lady. So I've searched the internet this afternoon, reading several articles on the coverage of the fire in Paris, and the same few narratives are being reported. I couldn't find anything of substance, details of the investigation, who was involved, etc. The coverage has been fairly bland, but what jumps out at me is that no major outlet even proposes the possibility of arson. Outlets continue to broach on the possibility of an accidental fire caused by the construction crew that has been performing renovations on the cathedral for the past couple years. However, I found only 2 articles that claimed that the fire was an accident. CBS reports that officials are treating Monday's fire at Notre Dame's Cathedral in Paris as an accident, not a deliberate act. So what does that even mean? Are they ruling out the possibility of arson without an investigation? Have they conducted an investigation? Well, apparently they have. The New York Post is reporting that the massive blaze that swept through Notre Dame Cathedral was an accident and is now fully extinguished, French officials said Tuesday. A team of 50 investigators is now working to pinpoint the cause of the fire, which destroyed the parts of the iconic 12th century structure the day before. This was an accident, said Valérie something, the president of L'Île-de-France region, which covers Paris. This was intentional. He says it was intentional. So it seems we were getting somewhat conflicting reports. Moreover, the investigation, according to the New York Post, has already been deemed an accident, with no details of methodology to achieve their findings. So I guess us, the general public, must believe the French officials, whoever they are, that the fire was an unplanned accident. So what of the workers? Who are these people? Blame is being cast on these faceless laborers and anonymous contractors with no rebuttal. Unless this renovation contractor is sworn to silence, I would expect them to come out publicly and address the allegations, make known their ongoing safety redundancies to prevent such an event. A spokesperson, someone to make some kind of press statement. And what were the names of the contractors? How many people worked on site? Was it a government-subsidized project? Was it privately funded through donations? Obvious questions are going unanswered. This is all strange to me. When such a worldwide event occurs, the public is chomping at the bit to castigate the people involved, with the MSN heading the charge. Look at the BP oil spill from 2010. This event sparked nationwide outrage against the company. Protests around the United States erupted, calling for the CEO's head and a drastic policy change regarding environmentalism and oil production. The government acted quickly, dispatching the EPA administrator and the secretaries of Department of Interior and Homeland Security to evaluate the spill. Even former President Obama said, quote, "We will make BP pay for the damage their company has caused." Details of the incident were plastered all over television screens and newspapers for months, touted by liberal media as a man-made disaster. The mainstream media did this because it was an opportunity to villainize big oil and to push environmental policy. Enron scandal was treated similarly and is still brought up today. Same with the Sandy Hook shooting. All 3 of these incidents posed an opening for the progressive media to strike, and they saw the opportunity to change hearts and minds. Remember the quote from Rahm Emanuel, "You never let a serious crisis go to waste." And what I mean by that, it's an opportunity to do things you could not do before. But consider the Notre Dame fire. There is nothing to gain for the leftist media to cover it extensively. No salacious angle, no corporation to admonish, no gun to take away, no protest to have. If anything, the mainstream media has the incentive to bury what they can in hopes it goes away. If it was a far leftist or Muslim terrorist who started the fire, then their whole worldview would crumble. The left are peaceful protesters, remember? The religion of Islam is the religion of peace, remember? It's only a matter of time until the MSN squash the arson narratives surrounding the tragedy in Paris before it hits mainstream. Oh wait, they already have. CNN reports, along with BuzzFeed and a few other outlets, that the conspiracies about the Notre Dame fire are making rounds on the internet. The ashes aren't even cold yet, and these journalists are reprimanding those who dare to ask questions. Even before the blaze at Notre Dame was extinguished, conspiracy theories and fake news about the fire had ricocheted around the internet. The most egregious examples of disinformation originated in the darker corners of the internet, but many found bigger audiences on social media. So there you have it. The mainstream media has masterfully framed the Notre Dame fire just as they wanted it, clean and resolved, all in one day. They are already prepared to move on, box up the evidence, and file this case as closed. The rebuilding process is underway with almost €500 million donated to the effort. It's over and done with. Dust your hands off and move on. In my opinion, the media wants nothing to do with this story for what it could pose. I contend that in a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks, the images of the cathedral will no longer pervade your screens, and Rachel Maddow and MSNBC will resume discussing the Mueller-Russian collusion case. And the rest of us will still be sitting here with questions.